Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using this black and red set that was sent in by a viewer. Thanks. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 5, Tavern Roll. This is basically a fancy hamburger bun, but I'm here for it. Not everything has to be complicated. Sometimes something simple done well is better. Next up, let's roll for main. 8, Chicken. I've got sliced rotisserie style chicken today. A fairly mellow start so far. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 4, Havarti. Havarti should be a fine pairing with our chicken. It's smooth and creamy with just a little bite, which will add some interest. Next up, let's roll some roughage. 3 carrots and 5 baby bok choy. I think today I'm gonna grate my carrots. The carrots will add a slight sweetness and a little bit of fiber to our sandwich. Not the most exciting roll, but it shouldn't cause any problems. And at the very least, it adds a nice splash of color. All right, next up, we've got our baby bok choy. When eaten raw, I would describe the stems of bok choy as being like a more floral tasting celery, and the leaves akin to a bitter green like spinach, and they almost have a slight hint of a tomatoey type flavor. It's interesting. All right, next up, let's hit it with some wild magic. 9.
So 19 to 20 on a D100 Wild Magic Surge, you cast Grease centered on yourself. Can Grease be one of them?
Yeah. Make it greasy. Well, okay, but like a number. Like, what do you hit?
Make it greasy feels like a 3.
11.
You don't want that. Like, I wouldn't want
Oh,
it
it's
to be.
bad down here.
And just to be clear, this is not add greasy ingredients. It's just add the quality of
just like-
greasy to the sandwich.
He has some leeway there. Make it greasy.
And don't try to put Mediterranean ingredients on it and say you've made it greasy.
Good.
Don't get
That's
clever.
good.
We spelled it out the right way.
Make it greasy. All right. Well, they left that pretty open-ended, but I have an idea, but I'm not excited about it. What I have here is some Crisco vegetable shortening. Ugh, I wish that was cream cheese. It's not. We're gonna make sure our sandwich is nice and greasy. But you know, putting it on the inside's not gonna make this a greasy enough experience. So here we go. Gonna make it just completely unbearable to handle. Awesome. I hate this already. All right, and last but not least, the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 10, gravy. All right, I've got some more of that caramelized onion gravy that we had on Thanksgiving. So we'll get that on here, and it's gonna just slide off of the grease. Great. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. Let's go ahead and cut it in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Well, the cross-section doesn't look bad. Well, the brothers had no way of knowing this, but I really hate having slimy things on my hands. So this is not going to be enjoyable. I'm not particularly worried about the taste, but feel like this is going to be rough. Here we go. Well, we succeeded in making it greasy. The inside of my mouth feels like I just ate a tube of chapstick. Taste-wise, it is pretty mild. I mean, it's what you would expect. And then on the outside, it's just a sensory nightmare. Of all the challenges of Season 5 so far, I think this is actually my least favorite. I'm going to have to go with a 0 for this one. And I'm going to call it the Danny Zuko. Here, eat up, Earl. Good sandwich mimic. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you next time. I got to go wash my hands.